Humans aren't born out of laying around on their asses. We've been born out of conquering a world. We're the dominant species. We built all this. We're powerful, and we're beautiful, and we're ready to build the next level of civilization in God's plan. But you must stop bowing to those who want to make you a victim. You must become the victor. If you love God and you want to build a pro-human future, then you are an enemy of the New World Order and Satanism. They want us shut down because we have the Spirit. I'm jacked into the source. I know the secret, and I want to see you empowered. But you have to believe in yourself first. This is the truth, and everyone knows it.
So, ladies and gentlemen, a couple of days ago, there was a report. It wasn't an official report, but there was a report that Kathleen Kennedy was going to be stepping down as boss of Lucasfilm. And everyone went wild. Everyone went wild, like, oh my gosh, Tyrone Magnus did a video, Star Wars Theory did a video, Critical Drinker did a video, and you may have noticed that I didn't do a video. And the reason is because I didn't believe it. I didn't believe that she was retiring and leaving. And here's the other part. Here's the other hammer that comes down. There are people that think, oh, Kathleen Kennedy's gone. Therefore, maybe there's a chance. Maybe there's a chance that they realize the error of their ways and they come back and they deliver a quality Star Wars product. Listen, I'm not saying that there's a 0% possibility, but it's as close to zero as it can get. Because I guarantee you, Disney is going to replace Kathleen Kennedy when she eventually does go with somebody who is just like her. I don't think there's any saving these franchises because I don't think Disney is in a place, ironically, that they even care about money. Because if they did, after the first failure, Kathleen Kennedy would be fired. Or even after the second failure, Kathleen Kennedy would be fired. Or even after the third failure, or the fourth, or the fifth. I mean, Kathleen Kennedy is one of the biggest disasters in the entertainment industry. How many IPs do you have to be gifted that have a built-in fan base and then you mess up for you to actually get the axe? Well, she couldn't do anything with Willow, which, you know, may not have been the biggest fan base in the world, but there is still a fan base. It's a recognizable name. She messed up Indiana Jones beyond belief. And Star Wars. Like, two of those are some of the biggest IPs in the world. And she messed them up. And if you take a look at the YouTube, the YouTube trend, this is what people are talking about. They're talking about, Kathleen Kennedy's replacement and stuff like that. Here's the deal. I'm just here to tell you. I'm not saying that it's bad to be optimistic. I think there's always a place for optimism and hope. But if you're like a Star Wars Theory, or you're like a, Nerdrotic, or you're a critical drinker, you've just got to know that the likelihood is they're going to replace her with somebody just like her. And that's not what I want. That's not what I think is best for business. But I couldn't have possibly envisioned back in 2015 that they would have released a stinker like The Force Awakens. The Force Awakens was, I don't know how on earth people claim to like that movie. Because there was a lot of people, oh, this is actually a really good movie. And at the time, I was looking at those reactions and I was going, this has to be one of the biggest copes I've ever seen. The movie was a poorly remade version of A New Hope. Anyway, So, deadline, which, you know, how accurate is this article going to be? You know, we're dealing with probably, you know, a 25%. But this is Kathleen Kennedy speaks out on her Lucasfilm plans, says she is not retiring, and films that will keep her in Star Wars orbit for years to come. That's why I'm saying extraordinary claims require extraordinary evidence. At this point, I don't think she is retiring and removing herself. She may step down as boss of Lucasfilm. She may do that. But the stink of her wretched foul odor, I think is going to permeate Lucasfilm until Disney finally decides to shut it down. And I think that is more likely to happen before she gets the boot. Now, why is this the case? I don't know. I don't know if she has blackmail on them, if there's something that she has behind the scenes. I can't explain it to you. But then again, I can't explain failing upward in any industry, in the gaming industry. You have these people who write these terrible games that are basically activists. The game fails, the studio shuts down, and they're begging for a writing job. Like, please hire me. And in some cases, people do hire them, which is insane. Like, you're going to hire somebody that just helped get their studio shut down? Anyway, yeah, I don't understand. I don't know why she hasn't been fired a long time ago. She has overseen one of the most colossal declines in gaming history, and so gaming history and entertainment history. So yeah, maybe we should watch it. Yeah, you notice how they're yeah, you notice the music, you notice the tone, celebration. This is why I didn't do a video on it, because my spidey senses taked up, and I'm like, this is the same thing we hear every couple years. The Kathleen Kennedy's gone, and then she uses it as an opportunity to say, no, I'm staying, or her contract gets renewed or something like that. It's just to stick that little dagger into the eye of the fans one more time. Hallelujah, 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 hallelujah.
It's done. Yes, Mr. Frodo. It's over now.
Well, it finally happened. After years of rumor and
But I gotta disagree with you, Drinker. It didn't happen. It didn't happen. The only thing that we've heard thus far are rumors from the media, which I wouldn't trust in the first place. Again, it's one of the reasons I didn't do a video. When I heard that news, I didn't believe it. I will believe the news that Kathleen Kennedy is gone when Disney makes an official statement. There have been too many false claims on this over the years. And all of them have gotten my hopes up, where I'm like, oh, yes, she's gone, the witch is gone, maybe. But I'm in a place now where Star Wars is dead. You know, to me, going forward, Star Wars is dead. I don't really care. I mean, if they come out with a good game, that's whatever, but they've abandoned core Star Wars. They don't really understand it. And they're afraid of what they don't understand. They have to try to remake it and reforge it in their own image, and their image is demonic. It's degenerate. It's disgusting. It's weird. It's creepy. It's this sort of Hollywood, you know, anti-Trump, deranged, foul, unctuous sort of ideology that I look at and I go, no thanks. The morals are all twisted. They bring in a bunch of freaks and degenerates, a bunch of disgusting people with buzzwords and bullshit and narcissism up the ass. Yeah, I'm LGBTQ, and I'm a black empowered woman of color, and yeah, that woman that looked like the snake. There was like, yes, yes. Like, why would you bring a freak like that in on a project like Star Wars? I genuinely makes no sense to me. Unless you're actively trying to destroy Star Wars. You're actively trying to make it degenerate. You're actively trying to turn it into some kind of brand for some fringe freak cult rather than making it for actual Star Wars fans. But
speculation, false claims, deception, and ejaculation, it seems that Kathleen Kennedy is finally leaving Lucasfilm. I know, we've heard this same thing 100 times over from every clickbait, algorithm-chasing rumour merchant on YouTube, but in this case, it looks like it's actually legit. All the major trades are reporting the same thing. She's decided to step down when her contract expires at the end of this year. She hasn't been fired, she's not leaving in disgrace, and she hasn't been forced out by some internal coup.
Crazy.
She's going out as we all knew she would, when she was damn well good and ready, probably to a shower of Lifetime Achievement Awards, meaningless accolades and fake praise from the shill media, not to mention the golden handshake to end all golden handshakes, but leaving she is. This, dear viewer, is it. The Kennedy era of Star Wars is at an end. And wow, what an era it's been. Tell me, what was your favourite aspect of her tenure? Was it her stunning and brave decision to relaunch a multi-billion-dollar franchise?
yeah, I mean, that's absolutely crazy that she's going to go out in any sort of respectable way given the just absolutely atrocious performance. Like, how do you ruin Indiana Jones and Star Wars and Willow and then come out with achievement awards and I helped to reshape Star Wars. You, Kathleen Kennedy, you and your acolytes have ruined more multi-billion-dollar franchises than I could even imagine. You've done more harm to culture than anyone in recent memory. You are a colossal failure. You're an embarrassment. And that will be your legacy. It doesn't matter what the Hollywood press says. It doesn't matter what these people coming to glaze your assholes say. What matters is what your legacy is going to be amongst the fans. That's really what matters. And you can't buy that. You can't, you can't Hollywood your way out of that. You leave a legacy of disgrace and failure and ego. And I don't even know how that's possible. I don't know how it's possible for somebody so incompetent and so stupid. But what I can tell you is that you've set women back in Hollywood 60, 70 years. Anytime I hear a joke about women, anytime I hear about women leadership, there's always a joke about Kathleen Kennedy. Because you have single-handedly fucked up so many franchises that people love in a way that is so completely irredeemable and inexcusable.
On my shirt so much anymore. Like, I like to be more subdued. And I notice a lot of your gear, like your 66 or the 66, it's like, if you know.
And it occurred to me one day that the perfect person to take over the company was Kathy. It's just such a perfect fit.
Our stocks are down and every Disney movie this year has failed. Look, I don't want to have to say it, but I think the problem is Kathleen Kennedy.
Welcome back, everyone. What a day for Star Wars. Apparently, Kathleen Kennedy is leaving her job as the head of Star Wars at the end of this year. I almost didn't believe it because there have been so many people speculating about her leaving or quitting or being fired over the last several years that I just stopped paying attention to it all at a certain point, because every time people would say stuff like that, you'd hear about her renewing her contract with Disney and re-upping for a couple more years. But apparently now it is really happening and she will be gone at the end of this year. Most of us that saw the news last night are still doing double takes like, are you absolutely sure that this is real? This raises a ton of questions about the future of Star Wars, who's going to take her job, running everything. Will that person be able to fix all the things that seem like they've gone wrong with the brand since Disney bought them back in 2012?
I don't think there's anyone asking that question. Not unless, I mean, they have to be a deeply hopeful person. I don't think there's anyone who could step in to remake Star Wars to what it once was. Other than George Lucas, and he's too old and he doesn't have the will to do it anymore. You know, after Disney snubbed him, bought his bought his sequel trilogy and then put it on the shelf. I mean, I don't think he has the will to do it anymore. I think he's got more money than anyone could spend in a lifetime. And I think he's done. But, yeah, I don't know who they choose, but I don't have any faith. I don't have any faith that they're going to do a good job. And you may say that you find my lack of faith disturbing, but I have faith in God. I don't have faith in these people.
Ooh, well, I know that fans across the planet are celebrating their booties off. It's a celebration. So.
Yeah, sorry, Tyrone. We're not celebrating. Because I have a feeling that here's what's going to happen. Part of the story is going to be true. She will step down as CEO of Lucasfilm, and then she'll get a consultancy role. So she'll be in a prominent position at Lucasfilm, and she will continue to weigh in on these movies, and, you know, for some inexplicable reason, she'll be given all of this attention and clout and prestige, and it will basically be like nothing has changed. I have this sinking feeling, I hope that I'm wrong, but I don't think it's a time to celebrate. I think what would make it a time to celebrate is if Disney sold Star Wars to another company. Ironically, you know what's crazy, and I can't believe I'm saying this, I actually think Star Wars would be in better hands if they sold it to the Chinese. I can't believe I'm saying that, but it's true. Star Wars would be in better hands in China than it would be at Disney. That's how far she's gone. And I say that because Western studios and Western gaming companies can't seem to do anything right. But China makes Marvel Rivals. Marvel Rivals, which is right now one of the most talked about prominent games in gaming. People who you would never think would play a game like Marvel Rivals are playing Marvel Rivals on their stream every day, engaging with that content. And what did they do? What did they do that was so drastic? Well, they had characters that people know. They had design aesthetics that were very good. The women, I mean, you know, the women all look good, and that's the point, you know? But you look at Marvel Rivals, and it's such a success, and you're like, I want that for Star Wars. You know? Man, I tell you what, there is oh god, oh man. Yeah, don't look at the Marvel Rivals tag on X. I suppose I could show this one, but this one is probably the most tame that I've seen. Holy shit. There's a lot of degeneracy. There's a lot of fucking... Oh my god. Yeah, there's a lot worse than that. My point is, they made aesthetically pleasing designs, and oh my god. Yeah. Oh my god, there's like an unreal amount of porn. What the fuck? Yeah, that's not normal. Oh, okay. Anyway, moving on. I'm just shocked. I'm just shocked that there's just that amount. Like, you type in Marvel Rivals and it's, holy shit. Anyway, back to the topic at hand. We were talking about Star Wars, not Marvel Rivals, but I wanted to illustrate that, yeah, China is making games like Marvel Rivals, Black Myth Wukong, games that are actually good. Where Western studios, they can't get anything right. Willow from Lucasfilm, Willow was so bad that Disney actually took it off their streaming platform. The movie was done, or the series was done. They removed it from their platform because it was so bad. That's shocking. At that point, Kathleen Kennedy should have been fired. Like, that was number 100 on the list of just failures and incompetence. But no, she's been allowed to keep her job. She's probably going to go out on a high note. They're correct. And so I'm looking at this going, there's just no excuse for this. This sort of failing upwards. We as a culture need to demand that this sort of stuff goes by the wayside. And we need to instill it into all of our content and all of our, talks about, what is good cinema, what's bad cinema, what's good business, what's bad business. It needs to be made abundantly clear and drilled into the heads of people in the up and coming generation that failing upwards is not acceptable, that it needs to be on merit. You need to earn your place. For whatever reason, Kathleen Kennedy doesn't have to earn her place. She can fail as many times as she wants. She can lose billions of dollars, lose millions of fans, take culturally relevant, iconic IPs and flush them down the toilet so they're completely and totally irrelevant and people don't like them, and somehow continue on like nothing happened. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I hope the news is true. I hope that Kathleen Kennedy is... I hope that she is sent to a retirement home and doesn't have any influence on Lucasfilm. She could live out her life in peace with, get the oatmeal in the morning, delicious. Maybe they'll make the little turkey clubs for her in the afternoon and she'll get some nice dinner. Maybe they'll give her some ice cream. Maybe she can go to the same retirement home as Joe Biden. Whatever it is, just stay away from Star Wars. Please. Anyway, that'll do it, ladies and gentlemen. Thanks for watching. See you next time.